Web scraping, right? So candidate Shivani and Mohit, right? So just let me know, you guys are already aware with the web scraping concept, how to particularly scrap a website using the Python programming language. Are you familiar with these topics or not? Just let me know. Yes or no, Mohit? Shivani? No, sir. Okay.
No,
Okay,
sir.
Shivani. Well, as far as I know that I have already given you the concept or the topics videos related to how to do web scraping, right? Am I right? So, did you not check all the videos related to Python web scraping? And Mohit, what about you?
Sir, I have watched a video of yours,
Okay,
but did not understand it completely.
okay, no issue. So, guys, let me just start with the web scraping topic, right? So, first of all, we need to learn why there is a need of particularly a web scraping. So suppose if you work as a data analyst or any data scientist or any web developer, sometimes you need to scrap a data which is already been present in the front end part of the website, right? Sometimes you need to scrap that data. Suppose this is my Zomato. This is particularly a Zomato website, and the data that you wants to scrap. Let me just this type of data, right? So this is flat 20% off K-Levy kitchen and bar 2242, right? Suppose there is some another website, right, like Misho, and suppose you want to scrap the Misho website as well to if you are working as a in any XYZ company and this Misho is your competitor company, then your managers or your particular seniors will definitely tell you to particularly scrap the competitors data, right? That time you need to particularly scrap all these data. Okay, so all these data you can scrap with the help of two way. The first one is manual approach and the second one is called web scraping. A web scraping is just nothing which is a script or some automation code which generally try to read all the data which are already is being present in front end portion of the code and try to scrap that code. Yes or no, candidate? Any doubt?
No, sir.
No? So let me just start with the very basic concept of web development. So first of all, we have to understand the concept that web development is divided into two parts. The first one is called front-end development and the second one is called back-end development. Whatever the data that particularly showing at the front-end portion is called front-end development. For the front-end development, we have to particularly work on three different languages, which is called HTML. HTML is just a particularly structured languages that we have to particularly work, that these are the structure that we have to particularly build, right? Like the foundation programming. HTML give you the structure or the layout of a website. The second language is called CSS. CSS particularly is used to design our layout. Like suppose we are like particularly creating any website, so the basic layout can be built with the help of HTML and the designing part can be built with the help of CSS. A CSS is only for designing part, right? And the last portion which is called brain of the website, which is JavaScript. JavaScript allows you to particularly work some functional concept into that particular website. Suppose this is my website and if I'm clicking on this link, this particularly links directly give me this kind of like web page UI, and if I just click on this add to cart, it will try to ask me the phone number, and if my phone number is correct, it will try to add that particular item into my cart. Yes or no? So all these particular front end calculations and coding part are always be done with the help of JavaScript concept. So JavaScript is a brain of front end programming language, CSS is for designing part, and HTML is for basic layout structure, right? So candidate, we have to particularly understand that if we want to scrap this website, all the data that has been shown there is a part of front end and which includes this designing and this JavaScript concept. Suppose if I just click on this right click and if I just click on this inspect button, it will give me the complete list of codes, which is nothing just a HTML code, right? And all these HTML code, I can just manipulate here directly, right? Suppose this is my h5 tag. H5 is nothing which is a header 5, and if I just want to particularly change this 250 to something 72, I can just simply double click on it and just start with 72. If I just press enter, it will give me the 72 value. But the problem is that, Mohit, this is the temporary variable, right? This is the temporary variable. If you just simply refresh this website, it will try to give you the final output or the refresh value, which is 272 itself, right? So here you
Yes.
understand one thing, that whatever the data that is showing in front portion is called front end part, and which is developed by the help of front end developer. But the data that is coming from the back end part is called back end developer. That all works has been done by the back end developer, right? If you try to manipulate the front end code, and if the data particularly showing in front end portion is already done by with the back end portion, then you cannot particularly do it on permanent basis. Yes or no, candidate? If I simply just change this 272 to simple 0 rupees, this is not like that. This product is of 0 rupees, right? This product is of 272 rupees only. If I just simply click on this, and here you can see that the again price particularly comes to 272 rupees. Mohit, any doubt related to this?
No, sir.
No? So the data that is stored behind the website is called the backend part. You cannot directly see the backend portion, right? If you want to particularly work on the backend portion, you have to be work as a backend developer, right? And for a backend developer, you have to particularly understand one basic programming languages, and here you are learning a Python as a programming language. And no doubt, guys, you can use this programming language as a backend developer also. Candidate, any doubt?
No,
So
sir.
all the data that is showing here can be particularly, we can use the backend development with the help of Python concept, right? So right now we want to scrap this website. The basic way to scrap this website is just simply use the mouse click and try to press Control C, and then go to your whatever the page that you have, and you want to paste the same data, just use Control V, and here simply you have just scrap the website. But this is not the best way or the optimum way to particularly scrap a website. Yes or no, Mohit? Suppose this
Yes.
price changes automatically day after tomorrow, or after some weeks or some month. You try to particularly store the trend, right? What was the price, what was the current price, what is the like current price, and what will be the particularly next 2 days price, next 1 month price, right? So if you want to store all the data, you should have to particularly work with the database aspect, and as well as the particularly management aspect also, right? So you cannot directly just click on this right click and try to just simply copy and paste. Although simple copy and paste is also a web scraping, but if someone is asking you to particularly scrap a website, it means it like he or she temporarily ask you to particularly build a Python code or any programming language code to scrap that website, right? Mohit, any doubt related to this? No?
No, sir.
So candidate, we have two types of website, right? The first one is called static website, and the second one is called dynamic website. Guys, let me just give you the idea. Candidate, this is the naukri.com portal, and here you are seeing that particularly if I just simply log in this, there is a some delay, right? There is some delay, and you will find some like white screen. Yes or no? If I just simply try to refresh this, there is some sort of delay which is of 1 to 2 seconds of white screen. Mohit, yes or no? The
Yes, sir.
problem is that the data that you are seeing here is not particularly like directly coming from the front end portion. All the data are coming from the back end portion, right? And that's why this website takes 2 or 3 seconds to load all the backend content. And this website is dynamic website, right? And if you just simply try
Yes,
to
sir.
particularly, let me just start with this all men accessories, and here you are seeing that there is again also a 1 second of gap. Yes or no, Mohit? Again, this is a dynamic website. The dynamic website means the price changes automatically. It's just not about the price, it's just about particularly the data that is particularly showing in front portion, right? The data might be related to any data. Yes or no? Whether it is related to stocks data, it is related to like price data or e-commerce data or anything. Mohit, any doubt related to this? No?
No, sir.
And let me just give you the basic static website idea. And this Wikipedia is a static website, right? If I just simply try to open this, let me just start with one topic, which is Wikipedia COVID data, right? If I just simply click on this, candidate, you will find there is no such time delay. If I just simply refresh this, is there any time delay, Mohit? No.
No, sir.
The website reloaded successfully within a fraction of second. There is no such time delay as we have seen the same with Meesho website and with the Naukri.com website, right? Again, I am showing you the same. This is the time delay I was just particularly telling, and this is the time delay, right? But if you just try to refresh this website, there is no such time delay, because this data cannot be particularly changed on daily basis or within a fraction of second, right? This data particularly change after day, after like after weeks or after months, right? But not on daily basis. Okay, Mohit? So the problem is that
Yes,
you
sir.
can simply scrap this website. This is the very static website, and if you try to particularly scrap the static website, we can simply perform the same. But the problem arrives when we want to particularly scrap the dynamic website. So in this upcoming project, we'll work two types of website. The first one, which is a static website, which is our Wikipedia website itself, and the second one, you can either scrap Naukri.com or you can scrap Meesho as well as Zomato, Amazon, Swiggy. You can scrap any website if it is dynamically available. Yes or no, Mohit? Any doubt? Shivani,
No, sir.
candidates?
No, sir. No doubt.
Okay, perfect. So candidate, you have to start with one basic library which is called request module. Import request. Request is a module which particularly requests any website on behalf of yourself, and you can ask with that request module to just give me the HTML content. Your main task is to get the HTML content. What is that HTML content? If you just try to inspect any website, this element or the code inside this element tag is called HTML code. Yes or no? The HTML
Yes,
code
sir.
start with this angle bracket doc type HTML, and again this is a textual file. This is not a binary file. This angle bracket P and slash P represent the paragraph portion. This div represent the division class, and this style represent the CSS portion, that you are applying some CSS code related to this table, and if this CSS code run, this will try to remodify this CSS or the designing portion with the help of this style or with the help of this class. Can I say this statement, Mohit? Is there any issue
Yes,
related
sir.
to this?
No, sir.
No? Okay, so first of all, you have to give the same URL if you want to scrap any website, right? So this is the basic URL that I want to scrap, and for that you have to import the request module. You can just simply use the pip install module, pip install, to particularly install this request module, and if it is installed successfully, you can just print the done statement, right? And your main task is to give a URL, what URL that you want to scrap. This is my URL, Mohit, right? Now I'll just simply print this URL, and I'll try to click this URL, and if this URL just simply give me the same website, it means we are directly working with the same URL that we were supposed to. Mohit, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, good. Now what is your next task? Yes, Mohit, any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Mohit, your next task is to particularly get the HTML data. You have two different ways to particularly call this HTML data. First, you can use the view page source command. This is called view page source, control U. And this is the HTML data that I was just asking, right? This is the HTML data. But the problem is that you have to click control A and then control C and open your notepad and then press control V and then again save this file with the covid.html file. Okay, Mohit? But the problem is
Yes, sir.
that you have to particularly do the same thing again and again, and suppose if there is any slight change in this data, you have to again particularly do the same process and task, right? So that's why we have a requirement of this request module. This request module try to particularly get the HTML content on behalf of us, on behalf of particularly this request that I was just giving to this URL. Okay, Mohit. So I'll just simply say, let me just call this get method. This get method try to get all the HTML content of this URL, and the same HTML content look like this, right? If you just run this, it will give you the success code. If you get the 200 response, it means this particular request module is able to get the all HTML content successfully. Can I say this? This 200 represent
Yes.
the success. That means we have successfully called the HTML data. Mohit, any doubt?
No, sir.
Now your task is to particularly store this inside this. But you know that candidate, this is just a response. So you have to say inside this response there is a attribute which is called content. If you just run this, it will take some time. And if you now just print this HTML data, you will get the same data. And this is the data that I was just particularly looking for, right? HTML data, doc type, HTML. Yes or no, Mohit? But if you try
Yes, sir.
to check the what exactly the type of this data, HTML data, and you will find this is something class bytes, right? But the problem is that the data is in bytes format. This data is not in HTML format. Now there is another requirement of module which is called the beautiful soup module, right? Beautiful soup module. Okay, Mohit. Now what is the use of this module? Either you can write your own Python like Python code from scratch to get all the data from this HTML bytes data, right? Or you can use the already inbuilt, not inbuilt or the predefined module, but you have to pip install this, which is called beautiful soup. And I can just simply call from bs4 import this beautiful soup, right? This beautiful soup is a class. Mohit, any doubt? And this bs4 is a module
No,
name.
sir.
How you can particularly install this module? You can just simply say pip install bs4. It will give you how to install this. You have to just simply copy this code, right, and paste it there. Because I have already this in my system, so I'll just comment this out, right? And if you just run this code, so this is the same message that you can use, print done. And if you get the same message, it means that you have successfully imported the beautiful soup. Yes or no, Mohit? Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, again, your task is to create HTML data. You can say HTML final data, right? And you can use the beautiful soup, and inside this beautiful soup, you can pass this previous HTML data, and you can say, this is my HTML data. So let me just pass this PARSER HTML dot parser. This is the method that you have to use. This is the fixed method. Okay, Mohit, right? So
Yes,
instead
sir.
of calling this HTML final data, I'll just simply call this as soup, because I know that this beautiful soup is giving me a soup. Soup is just nothing an object. Wait, can I say this?
Yes, sir.
So if I just run this soup, I'll again get the same HTML data, right? So instead of just printing this soup, what I'll say, I'll just try to print the type of this soup, and now this time it will try to give me this beautiful soup. Now my task is to convert this beautiful soup into good looking HTML code. So I'll say HTML final code is equals to soup.prettify. What I'll say, HTML final code is equals to soup.prettify. And if I just run this HTML final code, now this time you have to call this as a method. And if you just simply print this, you will get complete HTML code, right? And the same format that you are seeing here. View page source like this. doc.html, meta class link, something this, and you are getting the same code. Yes or no, Mohit?
Yes.
This is the same code, right? Now, candidate, your task is to get the data from this tags and from this code, right? So let me just again go to this portion. I know that I want to scrap this table, right? So I will try to find in which tag this particularly this rows is written. So let me just inspect this, and I'll find that this particularly rows is written inside this tr attribute. This tr is called table row. Okay, Mohit, this tr is called
Yes.
table row. So I can just
Table.
simply say soup dot find all. Soup inside already using the regex concept, and find all gives you all the tr tag. If you just run this, it will try to give you all the tr, and the final result should be list, and of course definitely you will get the same data type, right? Let me just check with the type of this data. It will give me result set. There is no such issue, but the data type is in list format. Again, I'll show you the same soup.find all, and I'll say tr tag, and here you are seeing that this tr tag is inside this list. Yes or no, Mohit? Right? So candidate,
Yes,
you
sir.
can just simply run for loop over this list, and if you just try to print this I, this is nothing, this is all the code. And if you try to fetch the data inside this code, you can just simply say I.text. I.text try to give you the all the data inside this tags. Shivani, any doubt? Mohit?
No, sir.
No? Now you know that the world 884 and something data is starting from there, right? So you have to find in which index this world is, right? So first of all, let me convert this data into index call I, and I'll just simply use the enumerate function. Mohit, I think I have already explained the same, right? This enumerate function tries to
Yes.
give you the index value and the text value, right? If I just print the index as well as the text, it will give me the index as well as the text. And here I can simply say that this world is starting with 46 index. Yes or no, Mohit? Can I say this?
Yes, sir.
This world is starting with 46 index. Shivani, any doubt? Now let me just check what is my last value, right? So first of all, you have to check here. So the last value is Turkmenistan, right? The last value is candidate Turkmenistan. So again, candidate, you have two different approach. Either you can use Control F, or you can just simply scroll, right? Let me just check by simply scrolling whether like there is Turkmenistan or not. Okay, so I'll just copy the name Turkmenistan and try to use the Control F for this Turkmenistan, and it will give me the Turkmenistan for 284, right? Let me just find the previous one, right? The previous one is there, and I think the 284 is the last one. Yes or no? Let me check the previous data, which is Ivory Coast, right? Let me again use this, right? Turkmenistan, and the value is Tongo. The value of Tongo is 00. Let me check. The value of Tongo is 0. Is there any Tongo before this Turkmenistan? No. So why we are getting this? So I think we have to use another Turkmenistan, which was like close to 284. Let me just check this. Right, this one. Yes or no? North Korea. Okay, Mohit. So I know that my data range is
Yes.
from if the index value is in between 46 to 283. Can I say this, Mohit? Now just give me the I data or I dot text. Mohit, can I say this? Now this time I'll only
Yes,
get
sir.
the North Korea data, or the North Korea is the last one, and the first data is the world data. Mohit, can I say this? My index value is range from 46 to 283. Now I know that this is my textual data, so I'll just simply strip. Strip will try to particularly strip all the values, right? Excessive leading spaces and the trailing spaces. Shivani, any doubt? Mohit? Candidate, you can just simply ask me if you have any questions.
No, sir.
No. Now you can just, guys, you can just simply use the split lines. Split lines will try to split this code into list, and it will try to give you this list values, right? So Mohit, I know that this is my complete data. So is it not like that I can just simply store inside this data, right? And the additional values or the external values, which is just nothing. This is the blank codes, right? Can I just remove this blank quotes? I know that in list we have a remove method and I can just simply remove this. Mohit, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So what I'll say while this inside data, you have to candidate just remove this blank quotes from this data. Yes or no? Now just simply print the
Yes,
data.
sir.
Now this time you will get the complete value without any quotes. Yes or no, Mohit?
Yes, sir.
This is the best value, right? Now candidate, you can just simply say, why don't you particularly store all this list value inside a list? I can just simply say, can I say this all data? This is just my blank list. And instead of printing this, what I can say that you have to just simply append this data. Mohit, can I say this?
Yes,
All
sir.
data dot append and data. Now, if you just try to find the length of this all data, you'll get the overall rows values. Yes or no? Now you know that this all data particularly has all the values or all the rows. Can I say this, Mohit? Now we have another
Yes, sir.
very basic module which is called Pandas. I can just simply call import Pandas as PD, right? And I can just simply pass import pd.data frame. Let me just start with this all data and it will try to convert this list of list or nested list into this good looking table. And in this way, I can just scrap my website. Yes or no, Mohit?
Yes, sir.
Mohit, any doubt? No, but
No,
the
sir.
problem is you are not getting the column values, right? So you have two approaches, right? Either you can use web scraping, because I know that this time my columns have only limited values. I can just use the simple concept, right? What is that? I know that the first column is country, so I can just simply give country. Shivani, any doubt? My second column name is death/million. My third data is deaths and the fourth one is cases. Yes or no, Mohit? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, candidate, what you can do, you can just simply pass. Okay, just try to fetch all the columns from this all columns. Now, this time it will give you all columns value. I think this one is easy, right? And you can just simply store this inside this table and you can just simply print this table with the help of this table data frame, right? Now, definitely your task is to particularly save this data. Yes or no, Mohit? Because you have particularly scrapped this data, right?
Yes, sir.
Mohit, and definitely you try to particularly give the column in which date and time this data has been scrapped. Yes or no? Definitely, as a developer, you try to give the same data, right? This is the date and time in which we have scrapped this website, right? So for that, you have to use this time
Yes.
module, import time. And I can just simply say if I want to give any additional column, so table bracket time, and you can say time dot ask time. Ask time, you guys already know that this gives you the present time value. Now if you just run this and if you try to run this table, you'll get the complete time value, right? On Sunday, October 13, 5:47 and 14 second of 2024, we have described this data. Shivani, any doubt? Mohit?
No, sir. No
You
doubt.
can also say this scrap time, right? Now your task is to particularly save this data. So let me just create a folder, Wikipedia COVID. I'll just simply copy the path and I'll try to store this data. So I'll say to Excel, but I'll say to Excel and I'll give the path value, and inside this folder I'll give the file name, right? The file name is covid underscore data dot xlsx. I know that the extension is xlsx, right? And what you
Yes,
can
sir.
do, just simply display the table so that you can simply so that you can see the table as well, right? Now this is the table and this data has been scrapped successfully inside this wiki code covid Wikipedia code covid, and this is the date and time of this data with this perfect Excel sheet. Yes or no, Mohit? Any doubt?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
So in this way, you can scrap any website, whether it is dynamic website or it is static website, right? So let me just try to run this code. Last time that we have scrapped this website was 1748. Let me just wait for some time for like 70, 49 or 50, right, Mohit? And
Yes,
I'll
sir.
try to run all the code again. And I think there is no such requirement of printing this HTML code, is it, Mohit? Let me just comment this out.
No, sir.
Again, I don't think so. There is requirement of printing it here, right? Let me comment this out. So the complete code is you have to particularly import this request. Now run this URL, get the content data from this like URL. Now print the type of this data, import the beautiful soup, create a soup, and then final create HTML code. There is no such requirement of printing the data. Then you can simply check the data type. And this is the very basic code of or scrapping code, I can say. Here you are importing pandas. Here you are declaring all the columns. Import time is particularly that at what time that you have scrapped the website. And if you just run this, this will try to give you the final value, right? So I think there might be some permission error because this file is already open. So you can just simply close this, right? Yes or no, Mohit?
Yes, sir.
So if you just run this, now this time you have scrapped this website at 550. Yes or no? Shivani, any doubt? I think in this way you have scrapped this website, and I think that you have successfully scrapped the website also. Mohit, any doubt related to this?
No, sir.
No? I think this one is perfect, right? So candidate, now what you can do? You can simply press over this right white block, and with the shift you can use this right this block, and now just simply press shift M. Shift M try to particularly converts this all code into one code, right? Yes or no, Mohit? Any doubt?
No, sir.
No? And now you can just simply convert this all data into a function which is called get COVID data. Let me just particularly indent all this code, and I'll try to return this data. Yes or no? Now this is the function, right? This is the function. Okay, Mohit? This is the final function.
Yes, sir.
And I can just simply call this function get COVID data, right? It will try to print all the necessary codes. Again, there is a permission error, right? Because the file is open. So here you can use the try exception. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Try this code. And if it is successfully particularly executed, then save this. If it is not, then raise exception, accept exception as error, and print the error. Yes or no? Now it will give you the error because the file is open, right? The problem is not that much that we were particularly getting in previous code. Yes or no, Shivani?
Yes, sir.
So now I can just say, let me cut this, or just guys wait for a while, right? I can just simply say permission error, right? I know that there is a permission error, right? So I'll just say if the exception is permission error, if the exception is permission error, instead of printing error, you can say your file is open, right? First close this file, right? And rerun code and rerun your code. Okay, Mohit, any doubt? Now this one is
No,
perfect,
sir.
right? It will try to catch the particularly error. Your file is open in particularly software. First close this file and rerun your code. I think this one is perfect, right? Now simply user can get all the information. But the problem is that here we are getting unnecessary information. So is it not like that? Can I just simply comment this out, Mohit?
Yes,
So
sir.
all these are particularly for debugging purpose, right? And and the final one, there is no such requirement of length. Now let me just run this. The final one that we are getting is done. Why we are getting this class beautiful soup? I think we have printed some like another code as well. Okay, let me just comment this out, and I think there is one done. Okay, now this one is perfect, right? If the if I just simply close this file, now it will try to particularly scrap this website. Yes or no, Mohit? Let me just rerun this function again.
Yes, sir.
Right? Can it? Easy, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Shivani, any doubt? I think this one is easy, right? So candidate, now what is my final approach? I'll try to create a textual file, and that textual file is nothing. It's my wikipedia.py, right? Wikipedia.py, and I'll just run this class scrap, right? And inside this class scrap, I'll paste this code. With any doubt?
No, sir.
Inside this class scrap, I'll paste all the codes. And I know that this try to particularly run this, right? Am I right? And let me just give the very basic information. Wikipedia COVID data is scrapping, right? Perfect, Mohit.
Yes, sir.
So now this one is my final code. Let me just close this file also. Yes or no, Mohit? Now I'll create a new file, and I'll give you the same code, Mohit, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll say import, not import, I'll say from Wikipedia, right? Import scrap. Yes or no? From Wikipedia import scrap. Let me just particularly change that, right? From Wikipedia import scrap. I know that this scrap is a class. Yes or no, Mohit?
Yes, sir.
From Wikipedia import scrap. Candidate, any doubt? Now I'll just simply say
No, sir.
scrap dot. I know that there is a method which is called get COVID data, and if I just run this, it will try to run the code, all the code, and just simply give me the values, right? And now this time we have scrapped the website around at 5:56, and if I just open this data and the same timing that we are particularly seeing here, right? And this is the final approach, candidate. You can build your own particularly modules, and you can just particularly use the same concept. From Wikipedia import scrap.covid data, and if you just try to rerun this, it will again fetch the new data, although we know that there is no such new data, but it will try to give you the data, right? So I know that this code looks very easy, right? From Wikipedia import scrap.get COVID data. But I know that inside this code, we have to particularly write this all codes, right? It's not like that it's
Yes,
so much of like particularly you can just simply call this in just one go. We have to particularly work in different way to get the data in a proper way. Shivani, any doubt? So candidate, your task is to scrap like whatever the possible static website, right? I have already give you the hint that how can you particularly check which website is like particularly static or which one is dynamic, right? You can use the same concept and approach. Mohit, any doubt?
no, sir.
Okay, so candidate, this is enough for today, right? And in upcoming week classes, I I I particularly I won't be available, right? So for the next portion, if it is required, I'll give you the particularly video access, and otherwise I'll tell you what to do, right? Okay, but
Yes,
in
sir.
upcoming weeks, you can practice the code with the help of that video also, if it is required. I'll give you the access. Okay, Shivani? Mohit, any doubt related to this code? I
No, sir.
think this one is easy, right? Is there any issue inside this code?
No, sir.
Like we have implemented the class concept, the module concept, the very basic programming, the try and exception. Yes, yeah, no, all the important aspect, right? The file handling also, table to Excel, right? Shivani, any doubt? No?
Sir, is it mandatory to write init
No, it's
function?
not like it's not mandatory. But the problem is like if you just simply particularly scrap this, it will try to give you this data, wikipedia.scrap, right? If you don't want to particularly run this, there is no such requirement. I can just simply ignore this, right? Why? So this is the like
Yes, sir.
this is the use of this, right? So let me say web is equals to scrap, and it will say Wikipedia COVID data is scrapping, right? And now I can run this web.get COVID data, right? This is the same way I can use COVID data takes zero positional argument, but one was given. I think we have to give the self parameter. I have already given the same, but what is the issue, right? Let me just restart the file again. And this is the best approach, right? So this is the scrap class that you are importing from this Wikipedia file, and you are creating an object, and it says wiki COVID data is scrapping, and you can just run web.get wiki get COVID data, and it will try to give you the data, right? So this is just nothing, just a message that we try to print. Okay, Mohit? Yes, I think this
Yes,
one is
sir.
the data that particularly we are looking for, right? 6. Shivani, any issue related to this code? Right? So candidate, I'll give you the wikipedia.py file, and your task is to particularly run this, right? And create on its own. Okay, candidate?
Yes, sir.
Shivani. Guys, this is just enough for today. And for next class, if it is required, I'll give you the detail, and for like particularly till that you have to particularly follow the videos to complete the next portion of this data, which is of dynamic website. Okay, Mohit?
Yes, sir.
Shivani, any doubt? So shall I close this meeting, candidate? Just let me know. Just let me know in chat,
Yes, sir.
Shivani. Okay, no doubt. So shall I close this meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, candidate. So I'll upload the videos and whatever the like particularly files required for practicing purpose, and I'll upload the same over GitHub, and you can just take help from this code and then particularly practice on its own, right? Okay, candidates, bye bye, right? Just stop recording.